Hi guys, it's KINO. Welcome to another video. So as you can tell from the title and from the envelopes that we have here, in today's reading we are going to be reading a letter from your soulmate as well as delivering any messages from them that they would like to give to you today. So that's what we're going to be doing. I feel like this one doesn't need too much additional explanation. So there are 4 options for you to choose from today, and today I have prepared little different colored envelopes. So for option number 1, we have the brown envelope. Option number 2 is purple. Option number 3 is white, and option number 4 is pink. So as always, take all the time you need to pick. You can pause the video if you need to, and I'm gonna go ahead and get started with number 1. Hi number ones, so if you guys chose the brown envelope, this is going to be your letter from your soulmate. So I'm just going to start off by doing a quick breakdown of this reading because there are going to be several different parts to it. Of course, we are going to start by opening this letter and well, I know what's inside, but you're gonna see what's inside. This is a letter that I wrote with the help of your soulmate's higher self, and then within here is also a little card with a song on it and also a little excerpt of the lyrics. All of the songs and all of the decks that are used in this reading will be listed in the description if you guys do want to give it a listen. And then we are going to take a look at some oracle cards to see what you need to know about this connection and advice moving forward. We are going to shuffle some cards to see what the future outcome is of your soulmate connection and get any additional messages from your soulmate. And then we're going to roll the astro dice to see if there are any important time frames in your soulmate journey that you should know about. So without further ado, let's get right into it and open your envelope. All right, so we're gonna start with the letter. And please excuse my handwriting. Okay, dear, your name. I haven't been myself lately, and the crazy thing is, no one around me seems to notice. No one but you. I feel like you realized it even before I did. I'm still learning how to make space for this new me that wants to emerge. Some things in my life may be changed around, but I know I can figure it out. I guess I just want to tell you that I haven't been there for you the way I want to. In many ways, I actually see the new me in you. I think it's the true me. You've helped me in ways you don't even know. I hope I can help you too. I'm sorry for how things have been until now, but I need to learn how to be there for myself before I can be there for anyone else. And I just want to thank you for all the strength you have given me. Love always, their name. So just a few things that I want to mention about this letter. You can think of this as a letter from their 3D self to you, if you know this person in the 3D, or if it feels right to do that. You can think of this as a letter from their higher self to you, if you don't know them in the 3D, or if it feels right to do that. Some points from their higher self. This is the second time I think that I've done like a channeled letter on this channel, and I noticed that the name isn't always put here. Like sometimes it just says like, my love or my darling or something like that to start off the letter, but your soulmate's higher self was quite adamant, I guess, or really wanted to put your name here. So this could mean that they really like your name, they like the sound of your name, or hearing your name makes them feel safe, or using your name makes them feel close to you. If this is somebody who doesn't know you yet, they might wonder what your name is and imagine calling you by your name. They just really wanted to use it here. Also, new me is in quotations because they weren't sure if that was like exactly the right way to put it. I feel like they're going through some transformation, but just not exactly sure what's going on yet. Like, am I emerging as a new me, or am I, returning to the old me? What is the true me? It's kind of very existential, and so they weren't really sure if that was the right wording, but this is what they decided on. And then after some deliberation, we decided to put quotations there. And then the other thing is that this love always, this is like, I want to tell you I love you but I'm kind of scared to flat out say I love you. So this was like a sneaky little way to sneak in the word love so that you're like, oh, okay, this person loves me. But it's like, you know, it's not too serious yet. We're not going all the way there yet. So it could just be that they're kind of scared to show their deepest emotions, or they have some scary feelings around that word love. But yeah, these are the notes that stuck in my mind when I was writing this letter. Oh, and there was one more thing. You've helped me in ways you don't even know. They wanted to add like, oh, maybe you do know, because I think they just find that you are all knowing. You know, the same way you knew that they were going to go through this transformation, or that they were going through this transformation even before they did. They're like, yeah, you maybe already know all of the ways that you've helped me. You maybe already know how significant you've been in my life and in this process I'm going through. So I almost added in brackets here, maybe you actually do know. All right, so this is the letter. I might have to fold it up again if there's not enough room, but then the song that they chose for you out of the songs that I know is Green Eyes by Coldplay. Certainly you don't have to have green eyes, but your eyes may be very, very beautiful to them. And the lyric that stood out is, I came here with a load and it feels so much lighter now I've met you. And honey, you should know that I could never go on without you. So like you can see from the letter, you've been a huge support in this person's journey. There is a feeling of them really needing or really wanting you there with them as they go through this tough time. And again, they hope that if you're ever going through a tough time, they can be there for you in the way that you have been there for them. Sorry, I feel like there's not going to be enough room. But if you guys want to listen to this song, if you're not familiar with it yet, or if you are familiar with it and you just want to give her another listen, the link will be in the description. I'll probably put it next to the timestamp of your pile. What should I do? Let's leave them like this. So now we are going to take a look at some oracle cards to see what you need to know about this connection and any advice for you moving forward. So first we have purity. Always trust in the purity of your heart. Look inside your heart, and within it you will find the answer to your question. We have citrine, spearmint with the message of conviction. The trigger statement is, no one listens to me. The truth statement is, my voice is heard. Stand strong and communicate your message. The world is ready to receive what you have to share. We have inward revolution, yang, and Cephas with austerity. All right, so a couple things I want to look at here. I like to check for repeating letters. So I noticed that we have the letter C repeating 3 times with citrine, with conviction, with Cephas. I hope I'm saying that right. Maybe it's Cepheus. So the letter C might be important in terms of somebody's initials, or it could be the name of a place that is significant, like Canada is the first one that is coming to my mind, but like the name of a country or a city or a company, or maybe even Christmas, like Christmas time is going to be significant in this connection. We also have the number 6 here. If we add up the digits 42 to equal 6, which is the number of unconditional love and harmony. So I definitely feel some vibes of reciprocated feelings here. Whether you know this person in the 3D yet or not, they are longing for you in the same way that you are longing for them. They're hoping for a happy and healthy union the same way that you are. And then we also have the number 1, which indicates new chapters, new beginnings. And actually, I just got a numerology oracle deck recently, and I believe that the card that has 61 on it, like 61, is the card of self-love. So that might be an important theme within this connection as well. But let's take a look now at the meanings of the cards one by one that we have here, starting with purity. Right away, the beautiful pink color of this card just made me so happy. This is the color of love. This is the color of the heart chakra. The camera timer just went to 911, which is actually Archangel Michael's number, so he might be helping you with this connection. And anytime there is a unicorn on a card, I do take notice, because unicorns make me think of something that is very magical, something that is very special, and something that is very rare. So this might be your guides coming through to emphasize to you just how special this connection is and just how unique this feeling is. Maybe you guys have felt like, I've never felt this way about anybody before. Whether you know this person in the 3D or whether you're just feeling them energetically, you might feel that there is something very, very unique, and I want to say like unprecedented about the way their energy hits you and just the way that you feel about them. And your guides are bringing out this unicorn. Oh my gosh, and the unicorn's even holding a lantern, which is all about like the light to guide you. So if you're feeling there's something really, really special here, your guides want you to validate that, and your guides want you to explore it further. I'm thinking of the Oracle card in the Romance Angels deck that says your feelings are real and worth exploring. So that's really important for you guys to remember. If you feel something in your heart and you feel that it's truly special, it's worth exploring. Like, create space for that feeling without fearing it or without trying to shut it down. And this card talks all about purity. Always trust in the purity of your heart. Look inside your heart, and within it you will find the answer to your question. So any questions that you guys might have about who your soulmate is, or how everything's gonna come together, or whether you have a soulmate out there for you at all, I feel like this card is saying your heart already knows the answer to your question. What you feel in your heart, and the answer that really lights you up, and the answer that really makes you happy, is the right answer for you. Citrine, with its beautiful yellow color, it is like a spirit lifter, it's a mood elevator, it's an aura cleanser, it is full of so much joy. So when you are seeking for the answer, this is your hint that if you follow your joy, if you follow the answer that makes you most happy, that's the right answer. So if you have an idea of this person is my soulmate, and when you think that, it makes you so like uncontrollably giddy, and it makes you feel like the sun is bursting out of your heart, that's how you know it's true. Because this card is saying your heart will not lead you astray. Your heart is pure. Your heart is likely directly connected to your psychic abilities, and your heart and your emotions will always lead you to the correct answers to your questions. I feel like you guys are very much like Queen of Cups type people, whether you are a water sign or not, where it's like you're always going to find the right answer in your intuition and in your emotions. And so maybe these cards are coming up because you guys have been doubting that recently, or just not sure. And this unicorn with the lantern, they're gonna guide you to where you need to go. Maybe this unicorn is also here because your soulmate story or your soulmate journey is a little bit weird. It's a little bit unconventional. And your guides are here to tell you that just because it's weird doesn't mean that it's not valid. And if your journey is a little bit unconventional, it's because it's meant to be special. And it's meant to strengthen your intuition. If your journey was very, very predictable, with like the answers in plain sight at every corner, there would be no growth. There would be no space for your intuition to grow. So any confusion along the way, any times that you're doubtful, even that is there for you. Even that is an opportunity for your growth. This is all an opportunity for you to get reacquainted with your heart, with the divine wisdom of your heart, and to find your self-love. So moving on to citrine, we talked a little bit about its very joyous and happy energy. I also think this is talking about a bright future ahead for you guys. This looks like a bright, shining sun. Actually, this could even be kind of a similar energy to the sun in tarot, where you and your soulmate have this future ahead of you where you're going to be very carefree. I think of the word frolicking whenever I think of something that is carefree and happy, because I think of just two children like frolicking together and playing together with not a care in the world. So I see a future where your stresses are lifted and where that like heaviness is lifted, and you can just play together and you can just enjoy the blessings of the earth together. I also think that you guys are going to have a lot of prosperity together. I believe citrine is referred to as the merchant stone. I will put a subtitle if I'm wrong, but citrine is a really, really good stone for like success in your business or success in your independent endeavors. And we also have yang here, which is very like go-getter, action taker, enterprising, go-getter, masculine kind of energy. So these cards can be saying that you and your soulmate are going to be like girl bosses and achieve all of your wildest dreams together. If you have any dreams to be independent, to be creative, to have your own business, I feel like you guys are gonna kill it. And I also want to say with the citrine card that there might be a message from your guides to not take things so seriously. We have this austerity card here. I'm not gonna lie, when I got this deck, I had to Google what austerity meant. I knew the word from like the Austere Academy, which is Series of Unfortunate Events book, but I didn't know what it meant. And it basically means being very stern or very serious. And I feel like maybe questioning your heart all the time or questioning whether you're doing things right all the time has kind of sucked a lot of the joy that this connection was meant to have out of it. Like we have two suns here, we have this beautiful yellow color here. This is meant to lift your spirit. This is meant to be exciting. This is meant to be inspiring. But when you keep doubting yourself and when you keep questioning yourself, it really, really does make things dull, and it makes things feel heavy. And I think your guides are putting these cards here because they want to reignite that hope back into you. And I guess they want you to know that this journey in general, it's not such a big deal. And I don't mean to say that your connection isn't a big deal, but it's like, it's not worth beating yourself up. It's not worth doubting yourself. It's not worth putting yourself down. And it's not right to think of this connection as like a destination that you have to like overcome all the obstacles and solve all the puzzles to get to, because that just puts too much stress on it. It's almost like the message is to enjoy your life right now, do what lights your heart up, and you will naturally go there. As long as you keep following your heart and doing what brings you joy, you will naturally end up in the arms of your soulmate. I guess if I can put that in better wording, it's like a message to stop putting so much importance on the destination, or even to stop thinking of your soulmate connection as a destination, like something that you need to get to, because that creates lack. That creates the idea that where you are right now is not right. And your guides are saying that that's not right. So I feel like these are saying to take a more playful approach, and to take an approach of like, I couldn't do anything wrong. If I'm following my heart, I couldn't do anything wrong. The next card that we have is Spearmint, and the trigger statement is no one listens to me. My true statement is my voice is heard. This is a card about communicating your message. The world is ready to receive what you have to share. First of all, this combined with the Yang card and the citrine, I wonder if your guides are urging you to start some kind of project, because there was that message of like success in business, a happy independent venture, prosperity in your future. So maybe there is some sort of career-related or creative project that your guides are asking you to focus on, either because that might be an important ingredient in your soulmate union, or focusing on that is really, really going to help you get into this carefree and passionate and confident energy, which is going to make you like a manifestation magnet. So that might be a message for some of you guys. Like you're ready to start putting yourself out there. You're ready to start coming out of your shell. But I also want to say, you know, these statements, no one listens to me and my voice is heard. Maybe some of you guys feel like nobody in the soul world is listening to you when you set your intentions, when you make your wishes, when you say your prayers for this connection. You might feel like nobody is listening or nobody is hearing or receiving your message. And your guides are saying that could not be further than the truth. We have heard you. We are working on your prayer. And maybe there's something to visit here in terms of healing. I think that very often the pain that we've experienced in our significant relationships, we could project it onto the universe. So For example, in this case, if you have been neglected in past significant relationships, if you have been ignored or dismissed repeatedly in past relationships, you might project that onto your guides or onto the universe, where you think that they're going to neglect you or they're going to ignore you. Because when the people who are supposed to love you the most treat you like that, that becomes like your template for what love is. So, you know, my guides love me, the universe loves me. Well, the people who love me in my life treat me like this, so I guess the universe is going to do this too. I hope that that makes sense, but you're feeling like the universe is ignoring you. It might have something to do with like unhealed wounds from significant relationships in your life, especially like early on in your life, or a very significant romantic relationship. And this card is coming out because your guides just want you to know we hear you, we validate your wish, we can see that the wish in your heart is very much in alignment with your highest good and your greatest joy. You're the Queen of Cups, you're right on the money with what you're wishing for, and we're doing everything to deliver this to you. And what is making you maybe feel like that's not happening is just a lot of self-doubt and a lot of, you know, taking this situation very seriously. I think also in general, we just live in a society where like everything needs to be perfect, and the faster you can get things done, the better. And the more you can produce in a certain time span, the better. But nature doesn't work like that. And the most beautiful things in the world don't look like that. These crystals probably took freaking, I don't know, like hundreds of years, thousands of years. I don't know, don't quote me on that. But the most beautiful things and the most natural things take a really, really long time to form. And we've just reached this place in humanity where it's like, make more, do it faster. So when our journey doesn't look like that, we might think there's something wrong with it, but there's nothing wrong with the pace that you're going at. There's nothing wrong with the progress that things are at right now. So please don't confuse that with not being heard or with things not working out. This is what your guides are saying with this card. Here with the inward revolution, I definitely think this is like a shout out. That's such a lame word, but like a testament maybe to your inner compass and how strong it is, that all of the answers that you need are within. This kind of looks like DNA here. So it's almost like all of the answers and the whole trajectory of your journey is like already in your DNA. It's already in you. Like you came down, you beamed down into this earth with this journey and this union already like programmed into you. So the more you trust yourself and what you're made of, you'll know you could never be astray. Like this, never be led astray. Like this is literally in you. This is literally a part of you. And with these two cards together, inward revolution and yang, this is like you becoming comfortable with what's within, like all of the ideas that are within, all of the passion that is within, and starting to project it outward. So a lot of you guys are learning how to step into your divine masculine energy, where you're not just feeling and experiencing everything within, but you're starting to like expand out and share it with the world. Yeah, I definitely think a lot of you guys, like, your guides are encouraging you to express yourself more, whether it's with a specific project or a specific goal you have in mind, or just starting to create more, starting to speak up more, be more assertive, speak up when you need help. Don't just go through everything inwardly and in the shadows. This might be also an important ingredient to this journey. So now we are going to shuffle some tarot cards. And we're gonna ask your guides what the future outcome is of your soulmate journey. Okay, so for group one, what is the future outcome of their soulmate connection? So we have two cards coming out at the same time. I do want to get one more or two more. All right. So We have the Empress, abundance and prosperity again, and also unconditional love. We have the, oh my god. So the Empress, and these are the two cards that fell out together, eh? So like, the Empress and the Ten of Cups, hello, excuse me. Excuse me. The other piles are canceled. We're not doing the other piles. This is like, oh my gosh. Okay, so we have the Emperor, then we have the Emperor and the Ten of Swords. Oh my gosh. So we have the Empress and the Emperor coming out together. And then we have two tens coming out together. That's so weird. Like these two came out at the same time, these two came out at the same time, and it's like the Empress and a 10, and it's the Emperor and a 10. So I definitely feel like this is you and your soulmate coming through here. I will say that the gender doesn't really matter. So like, it doesn't matter if you don't have to be a man and a woman. But I will say it's very interesting that on the more feminine representation, we have cups, which represents emotions. And in the more masculine representation, we have swords, which represents like logic and the rational mind, because that is sort of what is associated with each of those energies. But what I see for your future is that both you and your soulmate have stepped up to your highest self. You have reached your highest potential. That's probably why there were so many messages about like a bright future ahead and prosperity and achieving all your dreams and being independent. This is total power couple. We do everything we set our mind to kind of energy. You guys might have a family together in the future if that's something that you want, because these are traditionally like the mother and the father. And we also have the Ten of Cups, which is like a happy family with children. Usually we would see like children playing in this card and a happy home. So if you do want a family with this person, I definitely see that in the cards, literally. The Empress is a nurturer. The Emperor is like the protector and the guarder, if that's a word, the guard. So I see that you guys will be incredibly loyal to each other and you will have each other's back no matter what. The Empress creates everything that she wants. I'm thinking of the Empress on the Crystal Power Tarot deck, and it says something like, I create what I desire naturally and with ease. I might have worded it a little bit wrong, but it's like everything you want in your heart, it just comes to you naturally and it comes to you easily. And so that was exactly what we were talking about earlier with, as long as you always live from your heart and you always follow your joy, things will come to you naturally. I feel like you guys are moving away from an energy of doing things because you feel like you should, or because you're trying to fit someone else's mold or the mold of society, or just the old mold that you created for yourself. And you're tapping more into your feminine energy and your intuition and letting that guide you. Like, I'm gonna do this now because I feel that that's what I want. And as long as you always follow those feelings, you're gonna find treasure, you're gonna find abundance on the other side. Like I said, the Empress is unconditional love. The Ten of Cups is like total emotional fulfillment. It's the happily ever after. It's everything you've ever wanted and more. So everything that you have wished for this relationship, everything that you have wished in terms of like traits you want in this person and what you want your dynamic to be like, the Ten of Cups promises you that you're gonna have all of that and then some. Like even things that you haven't realized you want yet are already waiting for you within this relationship. And truly, like, you could not ask for more. This is like total, complete and total fulfillment here. And then with the Emperor and the Ten of Swords, I really like this as well, because the Emperor is about confidence and empowerment, and the Ten of Swords in this case, it's interesting. It kind of looks like the Nine of Swords to me, because it's like somebody looks like they're lying in bed, like it looks like there's a sheet over them and the swords are hovering above them. So this to me kind of has a similar energy to the Nine of Swords, which is like overthinking, mental exhaustion, which is exactly what happens when you doubt yourself. So what I see here is like, we're putting an end to this overthinking, and when we feel something, we're standing confidently in that, and we're acting on that. So this is a future where you are so sure of yourself, and where if you guys have dealt with like anxiety, chronic worrying, nervousness, overthinking, I do feel like you are going to be able to overcome that in a meaningful way and in a long-term way. Not like you're having, oh, I'm having a good month where I'm not overthinking, I'm not anxious this month, but like steadily and consistently being in very good mental health, because the Emperor is very stable and strong and consistent and unshakable. So I feel like you're gonna have a very unshakable mind where like no matter what worries or challenges life throws your way, you don't falter and you're like, I got this, I can do this, because you believe in yourself, because you're confident, and because you're not taking the issue so seriously in the first place, because you know that your ability to solve this problem doesn't make you more or less worthy or more or less valid. You're not putting that big of a burden or pressure on yourself in the first place. You're like, I got this, we'll figure it out, and that's it. And you stop thinking about it. So I see like a very healthy heart, a very healthy mind. I see you not questioning your place in this person's life and vice versa. Like, I know I got you, I know you got me, I know that we are happy as can be. That rhymed unintentionally. The phone is ringing upstairs. I don't know if you can hear that. Maybe that's like a sign of communication coming to you guys soon, or this person wanting to communicate with you. But wow, like we have the divine feminine, the divine masculine here. We have 2 10s. I love that. This is what is coming to you. So now we are going to get some additional messages from your soulmate's higher self and see what they would like you to know. All right, so first oh look, self-love, exactly what we've been talking about. Self-love equals self-discipline. Keep your word to yourself. Fall in love with how you feel when you are taking care of you. It's like your guides and now your soul's higher self keep coming back to like nudge you towards starting on something that you have been meaning to start on. And I feel like it has something to do with your career or some kind of project. And they're saying that like keeping your word to yourself, doing what you set out to do, and keeping yourself motivated, that's also a part of self-love. Exploring and using your fullest potential is also a part of self-love. We also have surrender. What you can't control is teaching you how to let go. So that's something to remember on your journey for sure. And we have be vulnerable. Vulnerability is strength. Lay your cards out on the table, reveal the true you, keep your mind and heart open. There is no need to protect yourself. This is kind of reminding me of the card encouraging you guys to speak up and let your voice be heard. It's like you guys, you either have a passion that you're hiding from the world, or you know this person and you're afraid to be vulnerable with them, or you're afraid to be vulnerable with your guides. Maybe you've been afraid to really like speak out or write out your soulmate wish because you're like, oh, they're not going to hear me anyway, or they're not going to care anyway. And again, this might be a result of past relationships where your wishes were dismissed. It's like all of this stuff you're keeping inside for fear of it being dismissed or for fear of it not being valued. That might definitely be something that you guys are working on healing, like coming out of your shell, not being afraid of people seeing your true passions and your true emotions. That's going to be a very, very important step in this journey, like both your soulmate journey and your journey to self-love. I'll also mention, because I do like to point out repeating numbers, we do have, repeating letters. We do have repeating S's here. So again, that could be an important initial, name of a person or a place. It can also be Sagittarius or Scorpio. I think that's all of the S zodiac signs. It could also be September, like the month of September is important, or somebody born in September. But yes, this is what I see for the messages from your higher self. So now, from your soulmate's higher self, or maybe it's from both of them. But finally, we are going to roll the astro dice and see if there's any important time frames that you guys should know about when it comes to this journey. Ooh, these are so fun to roll. Okay, what do we have? So we have Leo and we have the number 8, which is kind of cool because the month of August, aka the 8th month, is in Leo season. This is of course a timeless reading. I don't know when you happen to stumble upon this reading, but if Leo season does happen to be like 8 weeks or 8 months from now or something like that, that could also be a very, very strong confirmation. And then we also have, this is Pluto. So I think Pluto is changing signs in the year 2024. So that could be a very, very significant year when it comes to this relationship. Whether that's like when you are going to meet this person or when you're going to get together with them or when you're going to get married or something like that. I know probably most of you are watching this in like 2021 or maybe 2022, but just keep the year 2024 in mind because I feel like something very important will happen then. Yeah. So, also we have this Pluto and 8 can be talking about like the 8th house because the 8th house is associated with Pluto because it's associated with Scorpio. So maybe Scorpio season is going to be important as well, which if you're watching this when it's uploaded, it is in fact Scorpio season right now. So, is that everything I can see? Yes. So I'm going to end this reading here. Thank you very, very much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. I also have a Patreon, so if you guys are interested in seeing even more exclusive pick-a cards where you get to choose the topic, that will be linked down below too. I'm sending you guys lots of love, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye! Hi number 2s, so if you guys chose this purple envelope, this is going to be your letter from your soulmate. So I'm just going to start by doing a quick breakdown of how this reading is going to go because there are a few different parts to it. Of course, we are going to start by opening up this envelope and taking a look at the letter that is inside. And this is a letter that I wrote with the help of your soulmate's higher self. So when I'm reading this letter, you can think of it as what their 3D self would say to you if you know them in the 3D or if that feels right for you. You can think of it as what their higher self would say to you if you don't know them in the 3D or if that feels right to you. And then in addition to the letter, there's also a little card inside here that has a song on it that I felt represents your connection. That will be linked, all of the songs, all of the decks, everything in this reading is going to be linked in the description if you want to give the song a listen. And then there's also a little like excerpt of the song, like a significant lyric for you guys. So after this part, we are going to take a look at some oracle cards to see what you need to know about this connection and advice moving forward. We're going to shuffle some cards to see what the future outcome is of your soulmate connection and get some additional messages from your soulmate. And then finally, we're gonna roll the astro dice to see if there are any important time frames that you should know about with regards to your soulmate journey. So lots of different things to cover, but without further ado, let's open up this envelope and see what lies inside for you. So we're gonna start with the letter. All right, so one thing I noticed is that when I wrote this letter, my handwriting became a lot more cursive-y than the first one that I wrote. So this is kind of an elegant soul coming through. But let's read the letter. My love, I want you to know that I never left you. As the years go by, our lives change. We may look different, we may be facing different challenges, but the one thing that never changes is that we are with each other. I don't know how to be without you. Our connection has always been an intrinsic part of me, like a heartbeat. My memories, my dreams, my visions of the future are permeated with the beautiful color of you. This journey is scary at times, and it makes many souls weak. I am sad to think of times that you may have been lost, scared, or in need of support when I am miles away from you. But we need to remember that this is all an illusion. I promise when we are together again, it will feel like no time has passed. it will feel like all is well, like it was always meant to be. Your friend, and then their name. So a couple notes that I made to myself when I was writing this letter. First, I thought it was interesting that they signed off as your friend instead of your soulmate. I don't know if you know this person in the 3D and you guys are friends already. I just thought that was interesting. But actually, this really gave me a higher self vibe. Like this whole letter really gave me like this is a higher self speaking, this is a soul speaking, for many reasons. First of all, this like I never left you, this idea of you guys always being together as your lives change, as you look different. I almost thought of this as like, we've taken many different forms in different bodies, and as our different incarnations go by, the one thing that would never change is that we're always going to be together. This phrase, I don't know how to be without you, I was a little wary to write this because from a human perspective, it can definitely come off as like a little bit codependent energy, if that's the right word. But I left it in there because I think from a soul's perspective, it's not like that. It's not like I can't be without you, I can't live without you, but it's more like I don't even know what an existence is without you. Like we've just always been together. That's just the way it is. Like as far as I can look back, we've been together. And as far as I can look into our future timelines, we are together. Like that's just the way it is. I thought of it more of like a soul being like, this is just the way it is, and not like a human being like, I can't breathe without you, if that makes sense. And then also this permeated with the beautiful color of you. Their soul actually wanted to use the word fantastic, like fantastical, that kind of vibe. And I just thought, I made like a human editor call and I was like, I feel like beautiful makes more sense. Like with the fantastic color of you, it just sounds kind of silly, but you know, maybe, who am I? I'm just the human. So what else? This journey, I thought of like the human journey. It makes many souls weak. And they wish that they could be there for you in the flesh, into 3D when you're going through challenges in your own respective soul journey. But we need to remember that our separation is an illusion of this 3D earth. Like it feels very higher selfy to me, if you know what I mean. It could also be like if you guys are in a long distance relationship or the person you have in mind is very far away physically, I can definitely see how that would apply too. So again, however it feels right to interpret this letter for your own situation, please feel free to do that. But yes, this is the letter they wrote you. And then for the song, we have You and I by Park Bom. Please go listen to this song, whether you know it or don't know it. It's such a beautiful song. And the music video too, like it makes me cry every time. It's so beautiful. It's so bittersweet. Park Bom is an Aries queen, so we have to support her. And the lyric that I chose, the passage that I chose to put here is, no matter what happens, even when the sky's falling down, I promise you that I'll never let you go. This song is actually in Korean, but this is like the spoken English intro at the beginning of the song. I didn't choose it just because it's like the English part. I thought that was like, you know, the sweetest part for your connection. Like, and I thought it fit really nicely with what came through in the letter as well. Like, I'm never gonna leave you. I never could leave you. I don't even know what that means. I don't even know what that's like. We're just always together. What are you talking about? This was kind of the vibe that that their soul was giving off. And it's interesting too, like, I just noticed I often associate like deep purple colors or deep blue colors with like a very, very long-standing soul connection. So that's interesting as well. I will have to fold up the letter like this just because not everything is gonna fit if I leave it all open. But let's move on to the next part of the reading. So now we're gonna take a look at a few oracle cards to see what you need to know about this connection and advice moving forward. So first we have Shine from Within with the message, looks are only skin deep. True beauty shines from within and it's time for you to shine. This is a time for self-acceptance and for revealing your true beauty. Next we have Pearl. So pearl can be associated with the month of June, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm wrong, I will put a little subtitle here like I usually do, but I'm pretty sure pearl is either associated with June or the zodiac sign of Gemini, so that might be significant. We have magnolia with the message amplify. The trigger statement is I can't get anything right. The true statement is I am in divine time. Harness your loving energy and watch as one miracle unfolds after another. Then we have soul writing. This card just made me smile a lot. And then we have new life. And finally, Canis Major with dominance. Okay, so first I just want to take a look. Okay, I've been like checking for repeating letters in oracle cards. I kind of do it on and off in my readings, but I want to try to be more consistent with it. So like if there's any like first letters that are repeating in the cards, I'll take it as significant. I do see that we have repeating S's here. Shine from within and soul writing, so that can be an important initial for you guys, somebody's first or last name. It can be the name of a country, the name of a city. It can also be like Sagittarius, Scorpio, September. I think there was S in group 1, that's why those came to me so quickly. But things like that can be significant for you guys. And also for the numbers here, we have 20, which would reduce to 2. This is a number of partnerships. This is a number of relationships, of reciprocity. I'm not surprised that it's appearing here. And then the number 39, which would reduce to 3. This is a number that talks about abundance, that talks about manifestation. And also when it comes to relationships, this is like you and your counterpart coming together to create something or to birth something, so to speak, because you're two that are coming together to create a third. So this can be talking about you creating like a new life, like, oh, a new life. I was gonna say like a child, because a child is a new life, and there's somebody cracking out of the egg here. So it could literally be like you are creating a new life on earth, having a child with this person, or you may be giving birth to a business with this person. It doesn't have to be like a literal birth, but something to keep in mind. It can also speak about like a third party introduction. If you haven't met this person yet, maybe there's going to be a third party who facilitates your meeting, like a mutual friend or a mutual coworker, mutual collaborator, or something like that. But now let's take a look at the meaning of each of these cards one by one. We're going to start with this Shine from Within message, which is really, really sweet. This card is definitely coming out, and it's interesting that your soulmate said something about like the fantastic colors of you, like your true colors are so, so beautiful to this person. And I mean that from a 3D sense, and I mean that from a soul sense as well. But there's definitely a focus on inner beauty here. So maybe this is a specific message for some of you, but if there are any of you out there who have been, well, I think we've all been insecure about our looks at some point, but if this is something that you struggle with, that kind of weighs on your mind more than you feel it should, maybe you are worried about if your soulmate is going to find you beautiful or is going to find you attractive, or comparing yourself to other people, I feel like this card is coming through to let you know that your soulmate does or will find you so amazingly stunning, first of all, but at the end of the day, the most important thing is what is within. And I think your soulmate is really mesmerized and enchanted and just so in love with your beauty that radiates from the inside out. So this card is saying, let your true colors shine, because your soulmate loves all of it. Even the colors that you yourself might deem ugly or like they shouldn't be there, your soulmate wants to see your fantastic rainbow. And now I'm thinking of Fantastic Baby by Big Bang. There's a lot of like K-pop coming out here. So I don't know if like you or them like K-pop or something like that. If you do, I appreciate you, you have good taste. But let's look at the pearl as well. Like when I think of a pearl, I think of perfection. I think of something that has refined and perfected itself over time. This might be another very, very specific message for some of you if you feel like you've taken too long to get to where you want to go in life, if you feel like a late bloomer, if you feel like you're behind schedule, or if you are even self-conscious about your age. This can honestly happen at any age. Like even in my 20s, sometimes I feel self-conscious about it because we see people like in their very early 20s or even in their teens who are already so successful and already so abundant. And sometimes we can think like, I should have done more by this age, or like I'm reaching an age where I'm not blank enough or I can't do blank anymore. Obviously, it's all nonsense, but sometimes we do have those irrational fears and those insecurities. So any of you who are struggling about your looks or struggling about your age or something like that, know that in the soul world that doesn't matter, and even to your person in the 3D that doesn't matter, because it's very, very clear with this cards here that your person thinks you are absolutely perfect. You're like literally a gift from the heavens, a gift from the angels. And I actually think, maybe you don't know this, but you are exactly this person's type. Like you are exactly what this person would consider an ideal partner, both on the inside and out. So I know it's so much easier said than done, but don't stress, don't worry. You are perfect. You're absolutely gorgeous. I know that it might take more than a stranger on the internet, tarot lady, telling you that for you to really feel that way. But I feel like you need to know that, and hopefully that can plant a little seed for you. Also, another message I'm getting from this card is, again, like a testament to how many past lives you guys have had together. I'm thinking of the pearls that adorn this person as like experience after experience, lesson after lesson, and you keep stringing these beads together until you perfect it. I think you've been working on lessons with this person for a very, very, very long time. You are like the two best friends who have been in the same class from kindergarten, and now you're in the same class at graduate school. Like you just keep ending up together, and you keep learning together and picking each other as partners for your projects. And the angels are really happy about that. They're really happy about the growth that you guys have experienced. And it's interesting that we have this, I can't get anything right, and I am in divine time, because there is a feeling here of like perfecting something, of getting something right. Maybe you guys have been working on the same lesson again and again and again and again with this soul, and maybe are feeling like, why can't I get this right? Why can't we make this work? Why can't we learn the lessons that we need to learn? Why am I, or why are they struggling so much with this? And maybe getting a little bit frustrated at yourself. But this card, I am in divine time, it lets you know that you are doing everything perfectly. You're doing everything exactly as you were meant to do. And you can think of each and every one of these lifetimes as a miracle. With this message, harness your loving energy and watch as one miracle unfolds after another. You guys will always be together. There's no time limit on your lessons. You have all the time in the world. You have all the time in the universe. And in fact, from a higher perspective, time doesn't really even exist the way we think it does. So you guys are perfect. You're exactly on track. I feel like you guys just really need that reassurance. And I totally forgot about this until now, but when I was writing this letter, there was a message from your soulmate's higher self of like, I'm choosing to say the things that I'm saying because it's like you guys might need just a little bit more confirmation or a little bit more reassurance that this person is actually out there, and that they're actually here for you, and that you can actually get it right, so to speak, in this lifetime. You have soul writing, which it always makes me think of like the script that your soul has written before incarnating. It makes me think of things being in alignment with your destiny. Maybe many of you guys need to know that like you are in alignment with experiencing the highest and most beautiful love in this lifetime. In this lifetime, you are a match to that. In this lifetime, you're here on Earth together, on the same little planet, on the same timeline. You are here to find each other. You are here to come together. And maybe this number 2 that we see here in the context of this reading is speaking to like you and this person having written the script equally. Like this is just as much your story as it is their story. And I feel like sometimes maybe you guys feel that things are one-sided, like this is all about reciprocity, and you feel like this is just a story that you're making up in your head or just a story that you're wishing for. And this card is confirming to you, this is a story that has been written equally by your soul and their soul. Oh, maybe that's what like the 3 is. Like you're coming together to create something. You came together to create this story. So it's almost like their higher self is giving you guidance and little pointers on your respective script, and you're giving their higher self little pointers on their respective script. Like, I guess what I want to say is you're really, really in this together. And I think that's why they've said like, I don't know how to be without you. Like, that's just not a thing. That's just not a thing. We are always, always together. And I definitely feel that their higher self is in your ear more than you know, giving you guidance in life, giving you pep talks in life, letting you know that you're beautiful, letting you know that you're amazing. I feel like they're very much a loving voice in your head. They come through more often than you know. And they're kind of always coming through. Like if you focus on them and if you want to hear from them and if you want to feel their energy, like they're right there all the time. And I think I said at your disposal in a previous reading, and I was like, that's not the right wording at all, but I haven't thought of a better way to say it. So we'll go with that. They're at your disposal all the time, like the air that you breathe, like your heart beating, literally. And then we have new life. We have this person coming out of their shell, being born again. It may be that after all of these lifetimes you've had together, you are ready to complete a beautiful pearl necklace and start on a new one. Maybe this is like an incarnation that marks the start of a new cycle for you guys together, where you're finally learning the lesson, where you are finally breaking free. In perfect timing, I might add, you are exactly where you should be. This could also be a hint that in order for you guys to come together, somebody might have to start a new life, whatever that means for you. Maybe somebody has to move, maybe somebody has to change their careers, maybe somebody has to move away from a toxic relationship, whether that be romantic, friends, family, or professional, and really like set their roots somewhere else. And I think that would especially resonate if you guys are in fact long distance, because I know there was a little hint of that in the letter. Maybe this is somebody really like picking up and moving to start a new life, which will require them to be very confident. Like we see somebody coming out of their shell here, so to speak. And then finally, we have Canis Major. First of all, I think it's super sweet that we have a dog here, because dogs make me think of like loyalty, of faithful companions. There's this feeling of you're my best friend and I'm gonna go with you wherever you go. And I just remember that they signed off the letter as your friend. So there's really like a loyal best friend vibe coming through here. And also, okay, bear with me for a second. This is what I'm seeing with the colors in the background. So you see how we're going from a deep purple color and then it's turning back into red and orange. And you know how like purple's at the end of the color spectrum and red is at the beginning? So it kind of looks to me like this dog is walking out of the end of something and walking into the beginning. And this kind of reminds me of the message of you guys beginning a new lifetime after a long cycle has ended. And okay, so this may be just a message for some of you, but I think maybe what is happening is that you guys have had many, many lifetimes with this person under different circumstances. Like maybe you just came out of a bunch of lifetimes with this person somewhere other than Earth, and now suddenly you've chosen to start a new cycle here on Earth. So like this is your first incarnation on Earth, or the first in a very long time. You're starting a new chapter on Earth. or you had many, many lifetimes together in the same place, and now for the first time, you're incarnating like on other sides of the world. Like there's something different about where you are coming down into incarnation. And because you have a little bit of amnesia, it's like you feel that this is an unfamiliar environment or unfamiliar circumstances, but you don't remember whether or not your friend came with you. Like imagine you've been incarnating time and time again with your friend, like in Sirius, and then you incarnate on Earth and you're like, shit, what's going on? Like, what is this place? Where's my friend? Did they come with me? Like, what am I doing here? Your soul can feel like something is off, but maybe doesn't remember, like, no, you wrote this together. You chose to come here together. You made a promise that you would be with each other wherever you go. So your soul is kind of at unrest because it just needs to know, like, your friend is here, your buddy is here. Oh, that's really sweet. And then one other thing I want to say with the dog is that the year of the dog could be significant, whether that is somebody's birth year or a year that something very important will happen in this connection. I think the most recent one we had is 2018. That was year of the dog. Then going back, so 2018, 2006, 1994, 1982. These are years of the dog. So people could be born in these years, or like maybe something significant happened for you and this person in 2018 or 2006 or something like that. And then with this word dominance here, interesting. I'm gonna think of dominant as like the main thing, the most significant thing. It could be speaking to how significant of an influence your souls have on each other, how significant of a role you play in each other's guidance. Could be speaking to the fact that your union with this person is like your dominant life path, the one that you are most likely to end up in, because there was a message earlier in the reading of you guys maybe needing that reassurance that like you are set up for this, you are aligned with this in this lifetime, and it's almost like you are guiding each other to each other. So it would be very, very hard to miss this person. If you do want to come into union with them, it will be really, really hard to like screw that up, so to speak. So it's very important for you guys to remember this, that the true statement is, I'm in divine time. All right, so now let's shuffle this tarot deck here and we're gonna see what the future outcome is of your soulmate connection. In this lifetime, I should specify, because you guys have lots. What is the future outcome with your soulmate in this lifetime? So we have the King of Crystals. This is the King of Wands. We have the Wheel of Fortune. And we have the Three of Crystals, or the Three of Wands. So it's interesting because the Three of Crystals is a card that can talk about travel. We were talking about new life, how it could be like somebody's picking up and starting a new life somewhere else. Or in a more abstract sense, it can talk about just stepping outside of our comfort zone. I'm getting kind of very similar vibes from these cards because this person has just hatched out of an egg. This person is looking off to the horizon at the great big world that lies ahead of them, and thinking about all of the opportunities and all of the adventures that await. So I think your union is going to be coinciding with like a new exciting adventure that somebody is embarking on in their life. And I think that it might be a little bit difficult to find or to come into union with this person in the way that you want to if everybody just keeps living their life exactly the same, sticking to their routines, sticking inside their box, letting their fears control them. I feel like there is a need to face your fears. There's a need to be a little bit bold. There's a need to take risks with the Three of Crystals as well. And maybe this is like the lesson that you guys are trying to learn, like learning how to be brave and make that move and come out of your comfort zone. Three of Crystals, it can also talk about like communication, expressing yourself, writing. I think it's the number 3 that makes me think that, but maybe somebody is going to write someone a letter, or there's a very important message that needs to be sent out in order for this connection to come together. But yeah, I feel like there's a need for at least one of you guys to kind of go big and to embark out on a new journey, whether that is like you're literally traveling or you're just doing something crazy. You're doing something outside of the box, doing something new. Because with the King of Crystals as well, this is like you're completely free. The King of Wands is very brave, very bold, very confident. I like that the lizard is on his shoulder in this deck. Maybe very, very few of you guys would know. You'd have to be like a pretty hardcore KINO fan, I think, to know this. But you know, in the Rider-Waite, for example, the lizard is like down here on the floor. And sometimes I thought of that as spirit being like, psst, like down here in the corner trying to get the King of Wands attention, but like the King of Wands isn't looking. But on this deck, the lizard is right on his shoulder. You can think of this as like spirit is right up here, whispering guidance into the king's ear. So you guys might be scared, like, what is this new life? What is this new journey? What do I do when I step out of my comfort zone? Like, is it gonna be okay? But this card is like, don't worry, because you're gonna have this little lizard, aka spirit, whispering into your ear every step of the way, like letting you know what the move is, what the next step is, and you guys are gonna be fine. You'll be able to move forward with confidence and strength. And this is also like, when I think of the King of Wands, this is really like a point in your life where you've got it made. Like you're doing exactly what you want to be doing in your life. You're not working for or working under anyone. You're not answering or serving to anyone that you don't want to be. You might be like working with people or happily employed by somebody, but it's very, very much on your own terms. Yes, that's what I can say. You're very much living life on your own terms, and you're like the leader of your life and the boss of your ship, or the captain of your ship. This is the kind of energy that you guys are going to be in leading up to your union. And then we have the Wheel of Fortune, which is about divine interventions, which is about fate bringing you guys together in an unexpected way. So I feel like when you meet this person, or the next time you see them, if you already are involved with them, it's gonna be like not your plan. Like you didn't plan to find them here. You didn't plan to meet them in this way. It just happened. And it's very surprising. It's very unpredictable. I always see Wheel of Fortune unions like this, like just completely coming out of left field. And that's very interesting because you guys are over here thinking like all of these repeated lessons, all of these lifetimes are happening because I can't get it right. Or things are the way they are now because there's something I'm not getting right. And the universe is like, I got this. Like this is in my hands. What do you mean? Like I'm here enacting the story that you guys wrote, because maybe with this veil of amnesia, you've kind of forgotten what the story is, but the universe remembers, and it's the universe's job to fulfill your story. So you're over here like with your human brain thinking like, oh, I need to do this here and I need to manipulate this. But our human perspective is so tiny, and the universe has your script. The universe has your whole script that you may have forgotten. So okay, I'm spacing out a little bit. You have a lot of spirit guides who are trying to help you with this as well. So I guess what I want to say is like, it's erroneous to think that your little human self has to have all the answers and that your little human self needs to control everything, because the universe is already on it. So you don't need to worry about the lines. Like the universe will literally just feed them to you, and the universe has got it covered. That's basically what I want to say. You guys are all set up, and the only thing you need to worry about is putting yourself out there and being bold. So when you see an opportunity, when you see the universe presenting you an opportunity, go for it, because it's always a two-way street when we're working with the universe. So if I can give an example, if you okay, let's say you've always wanted to meet Park Bom. Yes, let's use her as an example. And then the universe puts you and Park Bom at the same party, and you see her over there. Like, the universe cannot pick you up and go make you walk over and tell you what to say and put the words in your mouth. Like, it can't force you to do that. You have to see the opportunity and feel the urge arising within you and go over there and make it happen. So the universe is like, I can bring you all the way up to the water, but I cannot drink for you. It's like this kind of thing. So when you see that opportunity to go out there and do it, when you see that opportunity to take the risk and to make the move, you have to take it. That's what you can control. You don't have to figure out how to get to that party. You don't have to figure out how to find Park Bom. I hope you guys know what I'm trying to say. The universe will do that for you, okay? Yes. So now we are going to use this deck and see what the additional messages are directly from your soulmate. All is temporary. It's okay not to feel your best. Like the moon, we go through phases. Give yourself time to get your groove back. This too will soon pass. They're coming through with support for you guys. Maybe they're feeling like you've been a little bit hard on yourself these days. Maybe they're here to remind you that journeys are not often linear and you're allowed to have ups and downs. You're allowed to be hopeful sometimes and then not be hopeful. You're allowed to feel like you trust the universe and then other days like you're doubting it. It's okay. It doesn't mean that you're deteriorating or that you're falling back. It's just, we have cycles like that. It's completely natural and there's no need to feel guilty about that kind of thing. And whoa, okay. So they have a lot of stuff to say to you apparently, and it's really cool that we have so many of these heart images, and then we have, that's cool, they match. So okay, we didn't read this one yet. Celebrate you, take yourself out on a date, treat yourself to a massage, take time to enjoy your own company. And they're saying like all the things that I would do if I were there. I would take you on a date, I would treat you to a massage, either by me or a professional masseuse, your call, and enjoy your company. Make an adjustment. Pay attention to how you start and end your days. Create a healthy routine that inspires and balances you. So it's interesting. I'm feeling called to put these together. While they are acknowledging like it's okay to have bad days, it's okay to have ups and downs, maybe there is something that you can do in your daily routine to make those ups and downs a little bit less volatile or a little bit less jarring. Especially practicing mindfulness. If you can take just a few moments for deep breathing when you get up in the morning and before you go to bed, take time to journal, take time to meditate, take time to hydrate yourself. Just little steps like this where you slow down and get back in tune with yourself, that might help your emotional ups and downs and your mental state to be just a little bit more stable over time. So it's not about feeling guilty if you're struggling. It's very much okay and normal to struggle, but also acknowledging that there are things that you can implement into your life to feel better. I am abundant. I attract everything I need. So remember that the universe is on it. They're going to bring everything to you at the right time. All you need to worry about is acting on it when it comes. And then I am safe in my arms. I care for myself like no one else. So there's quite a bit of messages here of your soulmate's higher self or your soulmate wanting you to care for yourself, wanting you to love yourself, wanting you to see the same beauty in yourself that they see in you. All right, so to finish off the reading now, we are just going to roll these astro dice and see if there's any significant time frames that you guys should know about when it comes to this connection. I have way too much fun rolling these. What do we got? Ooh, okay. So we have Jupiter, we have 12, and we have Virgo. So it's interesting because the Jupiter cycle is 12 years. So there might be, for example, like at the age of 12, the age of 24, that's when we have our Jupiter returns. If you guys are approaching, I don't think that there's many people who are under 12 or anybody who is watching, but if you guys are approaching the age of 24, or you are approaching the age of 36, like within the next few years, that might be a very, very significant year for you. And then we also have Virgo here. So this can be referring to Virgo season being significant. And it's interesting because at the time that this is being recorded, Virgo season is in 11 months. So I'm thinking of 12 as like 12 months, and maybe there's a message of something happening within a year, like some significant development happening within a year. So if I can list those a little bit more cleanly for significant time frames, we have Virgo season, we have within a year, so like a little bit less than a year kind of vibe, and then we also have when you are 24 years old or when you are 36 years old. Whichever one is closest. Now, if you're like 25 years old and it's not like, oh, you have to wait until you're 36, that will just be for those of you who are like actually nearing those ages, if you know what I mean. So is there anything else that I can see here? This is all the messages we have, okay? So I'm gonna end the reading here. Thank you very, very much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself. Please, if not for me, well, for you, but like, if not for me, for your soulmate, because they just want so much for you to be cared for, to treat yourself, to celebrate yourself, to enjoy your own company. Stay healthy. Take care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. I also have a Patreon, so if you guys are interested in seeing even more exclusive pick-a cards where you get to choose the topic, that will be linked down below too. I'm sending you guys lots of love, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye! Hi number threes, so if you guys chose the white envelope, this is going to be the letter from your soulmate. So I'm just going to give a quick breakdown of how this reading is going to go because there are a few different parts to it. First, of course, we are going to open up this envelope and take a look at the letter that is inside. This is a letter that I wrote with the help of your soulmate's higher self. You can think of this as a letter from their 3D self to you if you know this person in the 3D and that feels right to you, or you can think of it as a message from their higher self to you if you don't know them in the 3D or if it feels right to do that. But in addition to the letter in here, there's also a little card with a song on it and a little passage from the lyrics. This is a song that I thought fit nicely with the energy of your connection. All of the songs, all the decks, everything, it's going to be linked in the description. So if you do want to give the song a listen, you'll be able to find the link there. And then we are going to take a look at some oracle cards to see what you need to know about this connection and advice moving forward. And then we're going to shuffle some cards to see the future outcome of your soulmate connection and get some additional messages directly from your soulmate. And then finally, we are going to roll the astro dice to see if there are any significant time frames that you guys should know about when it comes to your soulmate journey. So without further ado, let's open up this envelope. I do want to tell you guys that I was getting a very, very kind energy from your soulmate. Now, I'm sure all of the group's soulmates are very kind, but I don't know, that kindness and gentleness just stood out to me enough that I wanted to mention it. And I also felt a little bit of, I guess, an aversion to taking up space. Like, this would be somebody who is very, I think conscientious is the right word, very considerate, and it's like, I don't want to intrude. I hope I'm not overstepping boundaries. I hope I'm not being a burden. I hope I'm not taking up too much space. Almost to the point where I did feel a little bit bad for them. And this came to me when I was writing the letter because it was like they wanted to keep the letter so small, almost as if they're not allowed to take up the whole page, even though, like, this is your show. Like, the whole page is for you, but they still wanted to kind of stay It's like they want to stay in a corner. They don't want to be too overbearing. They don't want to intrude or overstep. Like that's something that they're very concerned with. And the way you might see this in your connection, if you do know this person in the 3D, is that they might not, like for example, if they wanted to be in a relationship with you, they might wait for you to say it because they don't want to like impose that on you, if that makes sense. And it was very interesting to see the duality between like this person's 3D self and this person's higher self, because I think their higher self is like with you all the time and comfortable with that, but their 3D self is a little scared of taking up too much space in your life and just in general. So that was kind of an interesting contrast, and I can kind of see both of them coming through in the letter as well. So let's take a look at the letter first. I'm laughing because they opened the letter with just hi, which I thought was kind of funny, but I left it. Hi, writing a letter to you almost feels redundant because we are always talking. I hope you're taking good care of yourself. Remember that you can achieve anything you want to and still take it easy. Often I think about what our day-to-day will be like in the future, how we will spend our days together. Mostly, I think of all the ways I could make you comfortable, create a nice environment around you, and just watch you grow and flourish. I would be inspired just to be in the same space as you, sharing simple moments. Now that I think of it, I definitely don't tell you enough, but you are one of the most amazing people I know. I catch myself thinking about you all the time, almost like you're really here, encouraging me and pushing me forward. Your presence, even in spirit, is like a warm, sunny light for me. Please take care of yourself. Sorry, I already said that. And then they would probably sign it their name, but I wrote your soulmate in brackets, or I should say their higher self wanted to add that, like, yes, it is me, hello. So breaking down this letter, a couple notes. The first part about we are always talking, that could be a hint for some of you guys if there is somebody that you're constantly talking to, like in the 3D, like you've been texting a lot. It could be this person who is coming through, but the first thing that came to my mind was actually this constant communication on a soul level, and almost as if this person's higher self is saying like, I don't need to write a letter to you through this person on YouTube because you can just talk to me directly. You know, our higher selves are constantly talking. So I'm always with you. I'm always telling you stuff. I'm always sending you messages. That was kind of the vibe that I got from it at first. It seems like you can tell from the contents of the letter, they really want you to take good care of yourself and take it easy. So from a 3D perspective, this could be like if you're talking about your goals or talking about your schedule with this person, they might wonder if it's too much, wonder if you're taking on too much. They just want you to be happy and healthy. Or from their higher self's perspective, if they're watching how you are pursuing your goals or watching your daily routine, they might be a little bit concerned for you and maybe encouraging you to just slow down and put more effort into self-care. They're stressing here that you don't need to like completely exhaust yourself to achieve the things that you want to achieve. You can still take care of yourself. And it was really sweet because there's a lot of there's a very strong feeling of this person like fantasizing about you, whether they know you yet or not. Like even if this person hasn't met you yet, doesn't know who you are, I do feel like they fantasize about having a partner, and not so much about the, you know, the big romantic moments, like the big wedding or the big holiday getaway or whatever it is. They just think about the day-to-day moments of like being at home together. You're each doing your own thing, you're each working on something, or like reading your own book, and maybe you like prepare snacks together, and just the little things like that, I think is what they really just want. Your companionship, they really just want your company, and just you being there is enough. I did mean to write even in spirit here, that was totally my bad. They feel like you're around them, whether you're there or not, whether they know you or not. It's like you're almost there. When they fantasize, when they visualize about you, it's like they can feel you there. And you probably are there in spirit. And for some reason, I thought it was really cute that they said warm, sunny light instead of just saying like sunlight or a ray of sunshine. It seems like this person is kind of awkward or nervous or has a hard time putting what they're truly feeling into words, but they're such a gentle and kind and pure soul. The way they were coming through, really, really sweet, and I'm sure that's your energy as well. if you feel like this sounds like you, you're probably very, very similar. And then the song that you guys, or that I chose for you, is Tell the Girl by Golden Vessel. This is a really, really beautiful song. I would recommend that you listen to it. I really like the vibe of it. And then the line that I chose was, I don't need a reason to love you. I do like all of the lyrics of this song, but this is like the hook that keeps coming back. Like, I don't need a reason to love you. It's just really nice. And it's a small line, but it says so much. Like there's so many ways I could interpret it. And especially when it comes to the energy of your person, this is someone who I can imagine spends a lot of time overthinking things. They might be the type to analyze everything, have that, you know, logical brain that is hard to shut off and try to make sense of everything. But then when it comes to loving you or how they feel about you, it's just easy. Like they don't have to overanalyze it. They don't have to think about if it does or doesn't make sense or why they feel that way. It just is. Like it's the truest truth they could think of. I don't need to explain myself. I don't need to justify it. I just feel this way. And I think that stands out to them because they're probably usually the type to, you know, like beat to death anything they're thinking or anything they're feeling and look at it from a million angles. But when it comes to you, it's like the easiest, simplest thing. So that's one thing that I think of when I look at it. And also, it could be sort of a comforting line to you if you guys are the type to think, oh, my person might not like XYZ about me. They might not like that I'm this way, or if I stop doing this, they might not love me anymore. And this is like unconditional. Like I don't love you for these superficial reasons. I don't love you for these 3D reasons. I just love you because you're you, like for everything that you are. And then an alternative interpretation, which might just be for a few of you, maybe some of you guys would have some people in your life who don't get your connection or who oppose your connection, maybe due to like family traditions or culture or religious or spiritual beliefs or status, like social class or anything like that. There could be some people in your life who, I think it's a little strong to say are against it, but maybe just don't understand, like, why do you like that person? Why are you attracted to that person? Whether it's on your side or their side. And it's like, I don't need a reason. I just love this person. So anyway, that's everything I can pull from this line. I really, really like this song. I don't think it's like the most well-known song, but just gorgeous. Just gorgeous. Okay, so let's take a look at your oracle cards now to see what you need to know about this connection as well as advice moving forward. Wait a minute, there's only 5 here. Did I drop the other one? Yes, okay. I found it. She's little, so probably when I picked up the stack of cards, it like fell off the back. Sorry. Okay, so let's take a look at these 6 cards to see what you need to know about this connection and your advice moving forward. So first we have celebration with the message, get ready to let your hair down and celebrate. It's time to go out to dance and play. An invitation could be on the way. Then we have Sugilite. Lavender with the message of balance. The trigger statement is no one understands me, and the true statement is I ask for what I need. From a place of love, you need to stand up and speak your truth. What you wish for is what the universe wishes for you. We have channeling, higher power, and microscopium with analyze. Okay, so I have been looking at like repeating letters in oracle cards. Like if the first letter of cards repeats itself, it might be a significant letter. So we do have the letter C that is repeating here. So that could be somebody's initial, first name, last name. It could be the name of a city, the name of a country, or like Cancer, like the sign of Cancer, or Capricorn, for example. And then also looking at the numbers. So here we have the number 3. Judging from the fact that this card is channeling, I think this is talking about the meaning that the number 3 has of communication. And then we also have the number 4 with higher power. 4 talks about being protected, being on the right path. It's a number of like divine support, divine protection, divine order. Everything is happening as it should. So I think that you guys are heavily protected by your spirit guides. You likely have angels with you as well. And this to me is a confirmation that you guys are always channeling each other. And it's funny because you even had that in your letter. Like writing this letter is redundant because we're always talking to each other anyway. You probably already knew about this person, that they're thinking about you, that they're daydreaming about you, that they want to take care of you and nurture you. Now that I think about it, the number 4 is very much about that as well. It's interesting. I could even think of 4 as like the 4th house of home and comforts and feeling safe, and the 3rd house as like your immediate surroundings, you know, rather than these big grand moments and big travels. It's like, I think about our like running errands and our trips to the store and how we decorate our home. This feels like a very homey, comforting kind of person. Like that's the energy to them. I bet this person probably gives the best hugs and is really funny when they're comfortable. Really, really lovely energy. But yes, this can also be you guys channeling a higher power. If you need any advice about this connection, if you need any confirmation about this connection, there are always spirit guides and angels available to you to give you any answers, clarification, reassurance that you may need. Like you're always being watched over. That's what these cards want to tell you. If you already know this person, or like have met this person, they might feel like a higher power brought you together. Or if you haven't met them yet, it will probably feel very serendipitous or synchronistic when you do meet them, as if like there's no way this could have happened unless a higher power was orchestrating this. And something that might happen to one or both of you when you meet them or the next time you meet them is that a higher power might be speaking through you. I've spoken about this a couple times before where I've had a higher power speak to me through somebody else, and it was really freaky because like I could just tell that it was like a spirit guide speaking through them. They were saying stuff that was really unusual but very personal and specific to me. And if you're willing for higher powers to work through you like that, you might say something to this person that you don't realize it's anything special, but to them it's like, holy shit, it means something really valuable, or the other way around. Like, for example, maybe one of you uses a really outdated expression when you're talking to that person and you're like, oh my god, that's so lame. Like why did I say swag? Why did I say YOLO? That's so weird. Like that's so whenever we said that. But to them, maybe that's like an inside joke that they have with their friends. So when you say it, it's like, wait, why did you say our thing? Maybe something a little bit more obscure, but you know what I mean. Or you say like a catchphrase from a TV show that you've never seen before, but it's their favorite show. Something like that. Judging at how this person is a little bit shy and introverted, maybe a higher power channeling through them comes in the form of them just like walking up and striking up conversation with you. And then the higher power is like, yes, my job is done, and pieces out. And then they're like, what do I do now? So I feel like not only are they working with you, they might work through you. So I actually wanted to talk about these cards first. That's really cool. Now let's go back to the start here. So we have celebration, kind of unrelated maybe to the meaning of the card, but when I read let your hair down, I got a message of this person just loving you completely natural and completely effortless. So if you're the type to like dress up, put on makeup, really like pay attention to how you're presenting yourself, it's not that they don't appreciate that, but they most treasure the moments where you're just relaxed and purely simply being yourself. If you are always natural and you felt insecure about that, don't be, because that's the version of you that I think this person loves the most. Another thing that I thought of with celebration is that your union with this person might actually be very, very close. And I didn't necessarily pick that up for the other piles. This is the first one where I'm like, this might actually be very, very soon. Or maybe you're even already with this person. Because celebration to me, it's like, why do you celebrate? Because something amazing has happened and you want to commemorate that amazing thing. So it could be time for you guys to celebrate your soulmate manifestation coming to fruition very, very soon. And then finally, this card does talk about an invitation could be on the way, like an invitation to a party or to an event, or like a show or something like that, which could be where you end up meeting this person or seeing this person again. Moving on to Sugilite. So this is a really interesting stone. I don't have any Sugilite, but it's very cool because this is a stone that can help people feel at home on Earth. So people who are star seeds or people who resonate with the frequency or with the energy of a world different from this one, kind of have a hard time understanding the world here, like understanding Earth or like fitting in on Earth. Sugilite can be helpful to them. So this could be a little nod to you guys being star seeds, or just not really feeling like you're from here. Maybe the Earth is not familiar to you, and you kind of have felt like black sheep, and this is somebody who will mirror that and who will accept you for all of your weirdness or all of your awkwardness or all of your eccentricity, whatever it might be, or all of your like unpopular opinions and hot takes. That might be something that is very serendipitous. Like if you have certain views and beliefs that most people don't agree with, or think you're like too crazy or too radical or something like that, you might find that you agree with this person about a lot of stuff, and that really sticks with you. That really makes you feel like there's something very, very special about this person. But this is also a stone that can bring confidence to you and freedom. So I'm thinking of like letting your freak flag fly. That expression comes to me sometimes when I just think of starseeds embracing who they are. Like, I'm not gonna try to fit into Earth anymore. I'm just gonna let the weird out and be who I am. So this might be a connection that really helps you to do that. If you've been holding back your weirdness around this person, I'm telling you, you don't have to, because the way that they love you is just you in your most plain and simple and pure essence. And if you start to show your true self more, you'll be surprised how much of it is not only accepted by this person, but like actually mirrored by them. Like they are the same way, they think the same way, they feel the same way. And that brings us to this card, which goes together so perfectly. Lavender. The trigger statement is no one understands me. And the true statement is I ask for what I need. This is about like speaking up about how you really are. And sometimes believing that nobody is going to understand you is a self-fulfilling prophecy. Like no one's going to understand how I feel. So you just don't open up and you don't tell them. And then of course they don't understand how you feel because you're not saying anything. And you're like, see, I told you no one understands me. But it's actually because you're not speaking up. There's probably a more simple way that I could have said that, but I think you guys know what I mean. And I've actually been in a place like this. Like I used to have this, I guess, chip on my shoulder in my previous romantic relationships where I never wanted to speak up about what I wanted or what concerned me, because I was like, if this person is right for me, they'll just know. And that's a really like not helpful, it's actually a really harmful way to think, because nobody is like 1,000,000% compatible and nobody can read minds all the time. And we need to speak up. Like, I want you to do this. I don't want you to do this. I have this fear. I have this hope. I have this preference. I'm working through this right now. You have to speak up about these things so that your partner or anybody, your friend, your family, so that they're dealing with knows. And if you have this assumption that if people really care about you or if people are really right with you, they should be able to read your mind, or there's no point in bringing this up because they're not going to understand or they're not going to care or whatever it is anyway, that's really like you not holding up your deal of the partnership. If you want it to be balanced and harmonious, you have to put in the effort to make yourself understood just as much as they have to put in the effort to understand you, and vice versa. So this is your advice, I think, just for all of your relationships in general. Become more comfortable with standing up for yourself and speaking your truth, and trust that what you want is what the universe wants for you. And you can't find the people who want your happiness unless you speak up about what your happiness is. And yes, there may be some hurts along the way where you speak up about what you want and people can't fulfill that, but it's a little bit like not ripping off a band-aid if you don't even go there. You know, like, I'm just gonna keep it on and pretend everything's fine. Get it all out there so you can know who's right for me and who's not. Get it out there. That's how you're gonna know. And that's how you will end up knowing ultimately that this person is for you, because you're gonna lay it out all on the table. You're gonna show who you are and what you need from them and what you don't want from them, what they need to tread lightly, what's your sensitive spot. And they're gonna reciprocate that. And how could you have known that if you didn't? You see? Yes. This is, I think, a big lesson that you will learn probably before, like leading up to this relationship, and then a big lesson you'll learn when you're in the relationship as well. And then the final card that we have here is Analyze, which is kind of funny because I totally saw this as your soulmate's energy, and maybe this is your energy as well, like overthinking, overanalyzing, looking at things under a microscope. You might look at yourself under a microscope and really pick yourself apart. Like, this is lovable, this is not lovable. I need to keep this, I need to change this. But what your soulmate wants you to know is that they're not looking at you in that way. They're looking at the whole picture of you, the whole collage of you. And the whole picture of you is beautiful. And they don't have a reason to pick you apart. And they don't have a reason to dig and say, like, this about you is good and this about you is not good. You're all lovable to them. So it's funny because I feel like both of you might pick yourselves apart in this way, but you would never dream about doing it to each other. So I hope that the compassion and the grace that you give to each other will inspire you to treat yourselves that way. I know we say a lot, like, you have to learn to love yourself before you can love somebody else. And I do think there's a bit of truth in that, but there's also the counterpoint of very often learning how to love ourselves is done through others and with others. And I think this is like a very good example of that, you know, learning self-love through each other, learning unconditional acceptance for yourself through your unconditional acceptance of each other, which is, I'm thinking of Point of View by Ariana Grande. Like, I want to love me the way that you love me. I want to trust me the way that you trust me. Nobody ever love me like you do. I love to see me from your point of view. You know the one. I'm not even gonna try singing that one. I'm not gonna try to. Okay, so now we are going to shuffle our tarot and see what the future outcome is of your soulmate journey in this lifetime. What is the future outcome? Ooh, we have the Ace of Swords, breakthroughs in communication, epiphanies. I feel like this person is going to be reaching out to you soon. Whether you know them yet or not, they will message you, they will write to you, they will show up in your life. Could be very quickly or very suddenly. Actually, Swords is like the fastest of all of the suits. And then we were saying with the Celebration card, I feel like something's happening very, very soon. So expect to hear from this person in the 3D, I should specify, in the 3D very, very soon. And actually, just coming off from all of this that we talked about, the Ace of Swords is a wonderful card to get for your future, because this is all about like open, honest, and direct communication. And I actually think that your soulmate and you, if you resonated with this as well, will get over the fear of taking up space and will get over the fear of being assertive. Because the Ace of Swords can be pretty blunt. Like, it's very, very direct. So you guys will, together, you'll learn how to get your needs met in a straight up way. You know, just an example that I'm thinking of, and this is like classic, but like when one partner wants to go out with their friends, but the other partner wants them to stay home and be with them. And the partner's like, is it okay if I go out with my pals? And then the other partner doesn't really want them to go, but they're like, no, it's fine, do whatever you want. Because they feel like they can't say what they really want. They're like, no, it's fine, just go. Meanwhile, they just had the worst day ever and they're feeling really shitty and they just want company, but they're like, no, go ahead. And so the partner's like, okay, and goes ahead. And then you get upset at them that they should have stayed, even though you said they could go, you know? I feel like I'm being a little bit awkward with my explanations, but you'll grow with this person so that you're comfortable enough to say, like, you know, it's your choice, of course, but just so you know, like, I would really appreciate it if I had some company, because I went through a really, really bad day and this and this and this happened and I just don't want to be alone right now. And really give that person the information that they need so they know how they can take care of you. And even me giving that example, it's like making me scared. Like, am I supposed to say that to somebody? But you get comfortable with expressing your needs, you know? And everything is out in the open, everything is clear what the other person wants. It doesn't mean that you need to yield to the other person every time, or that you need to respond to their needs every time. But it's important that you get into the habit of making it known so that your partner has all of the information that they could take into consideration when making their choice. So I should say open, thorough, very clear and direct communication. I feel like this person will help you to say no, even like to other people in your life. You learn how to say no to your boss, or how to say no to your parents, or to your friends, or whatever it is, and just like clear cut and simple. You don't have to second guess each other. You don't have to play any games or be indirect. And I think you'll really, yes, you will. You'll really value and appreciate that about your relationship. Woo! We also have death, so we have some Scorpio energy coming through here. The first thing I'm thinking about with this card is like sexual energy, because Scorpio is linked to the 8th house. They're both linked to like sexual intimacy, or just intimacy in general. It could just be speaking about a very, very close intimacy between the two of you. I'm actually thinking about, it's a card in this deck that has a rose on it, and it's the card called Sensitivity. So this can be talking about you guys being very gentle with each other, navigating each other's like sensitive spots or soft spots with a lot of care. And when I said that, I meant like, you know, if you have an emotional sensitive spot, you're very tactful to not like step on the other person's sensitive spot. But then I thought of it as like physical or sexual compatibility, and it's like, I know what your sensitive spots are, you know. So you can take it as both. Death is also about moving on from the past, releasing cycles that don't serve you anymore, and moving on to something that is more beneficial. So if you guys are holding any baggage from previous relationships, maybe you're holding on to an ex, or you're holding on to a particularly painful or traumatizing, even significant relationship, I do feel like you will be healing those wounds, and that trauma will be finally put to rest. And then, ooh, finally we have the 6 of Cups, which is so freaking sweet. This is a card you guys might know. I just think of like the deepest and most comfortable familiarity ever. This card can also talk about very homey and comforting things, so it's reminding me of the letter a lot. But this is, if you had met this person already, or if you had been exposed to this person's energy already, you would know. Like with the 6 of Cups for me, it's like there's no mistaking it, because you've never felt so familiar, you've never felt so at home, almost like you've never felt so like, this is me. This is me, this is my person, this is my place. And it's no surprise to me why all of that message about being so natural, being so simply you, letting it all come out, it makes a lot of sense now that the 6 of Cups is here. It's just like pure safety, pure comfort, and an immediate recognition. And that's why I say, like, if you had I say been exposed because you don't even necessarily have to like have a 3D interaction. Being exposed can be like seeing a photo or something. Just being exposed to their existence, you'll like immediately know. Wow. Six of Cups can also talk about children or childhood. So maybe some of the cycles we're releasing have to do with childhood wounds. With the Ace of Swords here, this can be you guys like talking through what happened in your past, talking about your past relationships, talking about your childhood, talking about, you know, the life that you've lived up until now, and really like working through it together. Yeah, you guys can work, you know, your analytical mind, it's not, it may have come out as like the villain in this reading, but there's some beautiful things about having this ability to analyze and problem solve. Maybe your soulmate has like an earth moon or an air moon or something like that. And maybe you do. Could also be like having children if I take it a little bit more literally. But now we are going to get some additional messages directly from your soulmate. Observe. How are you feeling? Sit with it without labels or judgment. Practice just observing yourself and others. Not everything needs your reaction. This is exactly the kind of safety that you bring to each other. When a feeling comes up, I don't have to immediately analyze it and deem it as valid or invalid and decide if I'm going to express it or suppress it. There's space for all of my emotions to come up and be observed and be sat with and be talked through. Exactly. If there's a card that can sum up all of these, I think it's this one. That's the kind of dynamic and security that you create with each other. We also have trust the wait. Just when the caterpillar thought her life was over, she began to fly. Embrace the uncertainty. When nothing is certain, anything is possible. You are transforming. I love this message. And it's interesting that we have this metaphor of like a caterpillar turning into a butterfly. It's something that I would often use if I was talking about like the death card or Scorpio energy, because it is like a metamorphosis or a transformation. This could be a little heads up from their higher self that before your union begins, some things will come to an end, some things need to be released. And I often feel with the death card being a major arcana that this is not you necessarily like having to sit there and figure out, what do I need to let go? What do I need to release and end in order to bring in this connection? Major arcana to me, I often read them as like something that happens to you, like a major life event that happens to you. So if you've just lost something, if something has just ended in your life and you're feeling a little bit of like empty space there, it's likely space that is being created for your soulmate to come in. It may not be immediate because this card does say trust the wait. So, and also this is like, it has this feeling of just when you were about to lose hope, everything comes through. Just when the caterpillar thought her life was over. So you could be, and I don't want to like scare you guys, but you could be in a kind of low place, like right before this person comes in, feeling like it's all over, feeling like there's no hope, and then boom, they're just here, and all of a sudden you feel like celebrating, and all of a sudden you feel like this higher power was here the whole time. And finally we have cleanse. You are water. Cry, sweat, drink, soak, swim to refresh. So they want you to hydrate. They want you to take care of yourself. Take a bubble bath, go walk by a body of water, go swimming if you can. If where you are in the world allows for that, or maybe there's pool. For some reason they want you to connect with water. Maybe being near water or being in water is something that strengthens your channel. It's interesting. I think I gave the example of you guys being star seeds for this card. Maybe you are from like a star system that is very aquatic or like marine in nature. All right, so to finish off this reading, we are going to roll the astro dice. I'm gonna center these a little bit more just because it's kind of bothering me that they're like off to the side. Okay. And we're gonna see if there's any important time frames that you guys should know about when it comes to your soulmate journey. All right, so we have, what is this? Is Uranus in Taurus right now? Because this is Uranus, this is Taurus. I actually do think that Uranus is in Taurus right now. I am going to look up the period for this placement, because I think that maybe what this is saying is like there will be significant developments in your soulmate journey while Uranus is still in Taurus. So I'm gonna take a look into that. And then we also have the number 10 here. So this could be talking about like 10 weeks or could be 10 months. It felt like something was happening pretty soon. But you know, honestly, when spirit guides say soon, I realize that it doesn't really mean much. Like 3 years could be soon for them. So anyway, could be 10 months, 10 weeks. I hope for some of you it's 10 days. That would be really, really nice. But this is what I see for you guys. So I'm going to end the reading here. Thank you very, very much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. I also have a Patreon, so if you guys are interested in seeing even more exclusive pick a cards where you get to choose the topic, that will be linked down below too. I'm sending you guys lots of love, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye! Hi number 4s, so if you guys chose the pink envelope, this is going to be your letter from your soulmate. So I'm going to start by giving a quick breakdown of how this reading will go, because there are a few different parts to it. First, we are of course going to open up this envelope and see the letter that is inside. This is a letter that I wrote to you with the help of your soulmate's higher self. You can think of it as a message from their 3D self to you if you know this person in the 3D, and if you feel it's right for you to interpret it that way, or you can think of it as a message from their higher self to you if you haven't met them in the 3D, and if you feel it's right for you to interpret it that way. But in addition to the letter, there is also a little card in here with a song on it, and with an excerpt from the lyrics of that song. And ever since I wrote that card for you guys, I've been just like walking around the house singing the song. I haven't done it justice, but it just, spoiler, it's a really, really good song. All of the songs, all the decks will be linked down below if you're interested in checking them out. And so after we take a look at this envelope, we are going to look at some oracle cards to see what you need to know about this connection and advice moving forward. We're going to shuffle some cards to see what the future outcome is of your soulmate connection in this lifetime, and get some additional messages directly from your soulmate. And then we are going to roll the astro dice and see if there are any important time frames that you should know about when it comes to your soulmate journey. So that's how the reading is going to go. Without further ado, let's get right into it and start with the letter part. All right, so my dear, your name. I am so proud to call you mine. I can't imagine going through this crazy journey called life with anyone else. I want to thank you for believing in me even when I was struggling, for being patient when I got lost on my way to you, and for always sending me your love. I always knew you were with me. I received all your messages and signs. I tried to send them back to you every chance I could. I hope you saw my signs too. I would do it all again if it meant that I could end up next to you, sharing the rest of my days with you. There is no greater joy in this universe than getting to hold you in my arms, feeling your heartbeat against my chest, and moving through the world as one unified light. My love for you is unconditional. No matter what you do, or no matter what life throws at us, it will always be my guiding star. Yours forever and always, and then their name, aka your soulmate. So this person came across as incredibly romantic and well-spoken, and honestly, I think that this could very well be a letter from their 3D self or their higher self. I do think that this is somebody with a spiritual awareness or an openness to spirituality, and you know, someone who does believe in in soulmates and in having a divine plan to your life. And it's funny because in the other 3 piles, I kind of felt the need to like break down the different parts of the letter and be like, oh, this was a mental note that I made here when I was writing this, or when your soulmate wrote this, this is what they meant. But for you guys, I feel like there is no need to do that because they just laid it all out so nicely. Like they just said everything that they wanted to say and their feelings get across, and I feel like there's nothing else that I could add. So I feel like this person is very romantic and very articulate. Love that. And for your song, it's Love on Top by Beyoncé. So obviously your soulmate has exquisite taste. Obviously, this is like a classic. It's an amazing song, incredible vocal performance, incredible stamina. Well, you know, it's Beyoncé. There's 4 key changes in the song. And honestly, you have to see a live version of this. It's just, I cannot believe this song, this performance. So I'm gonna link a live version, but I think most people know this song, but just in case you don't, basically the gist of it is like, I'm so happy we made it through our tough times, and like this card says, nothing's perfect, but it's worth it. After fighting through my tears, finally you put me first. So it's like, finally we figured it out. Finally we are together. I'm so happy that you're mine. And I think it just really matched well with the sentiment that your soulmate was expressing in this letter. And it's such an earworm. Like it's always in my head. All right, so this concludes the letter section of the reading. So we are going to move on now to take a look at these oracle cards and see what you need to know about this connection, as well as advice moving forward. So first we have healing with the message, now is a time for you to give or receive healing. Everyone has a natural ability to heal others. Yes, even you. We have turquoise. Yarrow palm with the message divination. The trigger statement is, I am so drained. The true statement is, I am shielded. You are finding balance as you see what resonates and what does not. With clear sight, you are safe and protected. We have awakening. Are they gonna fit? This one is sideways, so let's see. Ooh, we have soulmates. Very obvious. And then we have Ursa Major with the message of teach. All right, so let's just take a look at the keywords that we have here. We have healing, divination, awakening, soulmates, and teach. This is like my highly spiritual, highly psychic group, I think. I think you guys are very psychic. I think your soulmate is very psychic as well. Like I could tell from the letter, I think they already have an awareness or an openness to their spirituality, which is really nice. And I think that this person is going to be a catalyst for a huge awakening in your life. This person might even be the reason you start on a spiritual journey or start on your spiritual path or really start to like dig deeper into it. So some of you guys maybe already know who this person is, like you've already met them or been activated by them, so to speak, and that just like sent you into a deep dive of learning everything you could about your spiritual journey. If you haven't met this person yet, maybe this is something like, you know, now you just kind of enjoy spirituality for entertainment. Maybe you watch a pick a card here and there. You like reading horoscopes and stuff. But once you meet this person, you're like, oh my gosh, I need to learn everything I can. And you really, really start to dig deeper into it. I feel like this person is almost going to like start you on a quest for knowledge about your spirituality, which is really cool. And I do think that they're going to trigger a lot of healing for you, which of course this card looks very nice and magical and happy. But, you know, the healing journey can be quite uncomfortable at times. And it's not that this person or this connection makes you uncomfortable. It's just that as you start to dive deeper into your spirituality, as you start to awaken more, eventually we are going to come face to face with our shadow and face to face with some aspects of our ego that are not so pleasant. We might uncover some painful memories from our past in this lifetime or even from previous lifetimes. So, you know, with this union, I think comes the good, the bad, and the ugly of spiritual awakening. But what I think is really cool is that, oh, first of all, it's really cool that you have turquoise here, because turquoise is a healing stone and it's a purifying stone. It purifies our negativity and it helps to balance our mental health and emotional health. But what I was gonna say, what is really cool is that I think that once you go through this journey of healing and awakening, you guys could actually be a spiritual teacher. And I think that maybe a part of this reading is calling you to step into that role. Whether that is just sharing with your friends about the spiritual journey you've been on, or coming on a bigger platform and sharing the knowledge that you have gained. Light work is light work, no matter if it's done on a small scale or a big scale. But I thought it's kind of cute how this card has the message of everyone has an ability to heal others. Yes, even you. So I feel like there's maybe some of you out there who are watching this reading who you've kind of been feeling called to share your spirituality. Maybe you want to start doing your own readings. Maybe you want to start sharing about your divine counterpart journey with other people. And, you know, find your platform and find your community and maybe offer spiritual services as well. But you're thinking like, oh no, not me. You know, like other people can do that. Other people have that gift, but I don't know if I have it. I don't know if I have what it takes. And this card is saying like, we all have this psychic ability, even you, and especially you actually. I feel like you guys can definitely be an amazing spiritual teacher and healer to other people. So part of this card is maybe coming out if you guys are doubting that, if you're like just on the edge of starting to share your spiritual abilities, but you're a little bit like scared or nervous or wondering if you've got it. You got it, okay? And maybe your soulmate is even coming through to confirm this to you, because whatever you're doing, they're feeling it. Whatever messages you're sending out to them, they're feeling it. Whatever you're manifesting, it's popping up on their end as well. So I feel like you're wondering, how do I develop my gifts? How do I use my psychic gifts? And you're already doing it without even realizing you're already connecting to your soulmate. But yeah, it's interesting. I could see you guys just being like a general spiritual worker, like giving readings on various topics or offering different healing services. But I could also see you guys being like a specialist for other people who are on like soulmate journeys or twin flame journeys or divine counterpart journeys, because you have like been through that yourself. And the camera timer just went to 11:11. Right when I said that. So whatever knowledge you're accumulating on this soulmate journey, I think it could be very, very valuable to other people who are maybe, you know, struggling with their healing, struggling to purify their negativity. You can sort of be like a guiding light for them, exactly how they phrased it. And it's actually, now that I think about it, it's really cool. They talk about you guys moving through the world. Where is it? Moving through the world as one unified light. They talk about you being like a guiding star. Maybe both of you at some point in your life will feel this calling to share about your spiritual journey and use it to heal and uplift others. That's really, really cool. And of course, even if you don't choose to like share this on a large scale with the world, you're definitely going to play a huge role in healing each other, in cleansing each other, in awakening each other. And of course, that's going to go out to the people around you. I think, you know, the people in your friends, in your family, in your smaller community are going to see what a beautiful union the two of you have, see how you've made it through all of your struggles. And I think you're a very real example of true love and unconditional love. You're not portraying yourselves as this like, yes, you're light workers without like toxic light or toxic positivity. You're not portraying this like, oh, we never fought and everything was just so perfect and the universe brought us together so easily. And you might kind of demystify this idea that like if someone's your soulmate or someone's your twin flame or whatever it is, it will just be so perfect and magical. It's like, no, shit happens in your life. No matter what circumstances you're incarnating into, you're gonna have struggles, you're gonna have disagreements, but we choose to stay together and we choose to make it work every single day. and we love each other no matter what. And I feel like you're that couple who's going to be really, really old together, and everybody wants to know your secret. You have this vibe of like imparting wisdom on the next generation, and that could be like the younger human generation, or it can be like the younger wave of souls. I guess I don't really know what that means. How do I explain that? Like the wave of souls, the wave of divine counterparts that comes after you. You can help them through their journeys. Moving on to this card, divination. You also, if you guys do readings for yourself about this connection, I feel like you should trust them more. And I would even say, like, trust your own readings more than other people's readings, or like do your own readings first and then use other people's for confirmation. But don't use others' readings as a way to like confirm or deny, validate or invalidate what you saw. That's obviously sound advice for everybody, but I just felt the need to tell you guys that. Also, maybe the fact that this soulmates card is coming up, because it's so obvious, right? Like for the soulmate card to come up in a soulmate reading, maybe some of you guys are wondering, like, is this person my soulmate? And your guides are like, duh, because this is such like redundant or obvious energy. It's like, are you kidding me? We've sent you like 15,000 signs. Your soulmate's like, I've sent you 15,000 signs. Are you really still asking this question? Come on. Come on now. Yeah, for some of you guys, like who your soulmate is like staring you in the face, and like you have permission to take that confirmation and accept it. But sorry, I'll get back to this Yarrow Palm card. So this card is talking about you finding balance as you see what resonates and what does not. With clear sight, you are safe and protected. So this to me sort of highlights the more difficult parts of an awakening, where as you become more aware, you start to see what's not going to fly anymore, what habits, beliefs, even like your identity that you've picked up along the way that is just not you, and that is just conditioning, and that you really want to, it becomes like this uncomfortable, itchy suit that you want to shed off. Like, ugh, this old me, this old life, it's not me. It's my conditioning. I built this life out of fear. I want to build my new life out of love. So it's no secret, anybody who's gone through an awakening, you know this process is quite draining. There are times where you can feel very sleepy, where you can feel irritable. You can even feel some kind of symptoms of illness. You can have like pounding headaches or body aches. There are definitely physical symptoms that come with it as well. And I think this card is appearing to let you know that even if the process is uncomfortable, you are protected the whole way, and almost like this is shielding you from an even deeper discomfort. Like, yes, the process of shedding your old skin is very uncomfortable, but what is even worse than that is to keep living in that old skin forever. And that's what we are protecting you from. So there may be times when you're going through your awakening where you just want to like look up at the sky and be like, why are you doing this to me? Why do I have to go through this again? And just remember that you're being set up for the brightest future, and remember that the things that you are going through, I was gonna say, like, they can help a generation. You guys are like the wisdom imparters, and I think many of you will be called to share your wisdom on a big scale. That might scare you now, that might sound like that's not me now, but I feel like many of you, when you come out on the other side of this wave of awakening, you will really feel called to share what you've been through on a big scale. But again, this is yours to interpret. If you feel like that's really, really not you, even sharing with just a few people or one person close to you can start a ripple effect and can cause like a domino effect in the awakening of the world. And I really feel like that's what you guys are here to do. And I think with this number 2 being here, you're here to do it together. Oh my gosh, I've been meaning to interpret the numbers because I did it for all the other piles. Two coming together, union, partnerships. And then here we have the number 5. If we reduce 4 and 1, this is about change, growth, development, bridging the gap between the 3D and the 5D. This is what you're here for. And I feel like you guys might even be the trigger for others' unions in this lifetime, like unions with their soulmate, unions with their soul family. It's interesting that you have the the constellation of Ursa Major, because Major is like, you know, the big one, the main one, and Ursa is bear. And bears are a symbol of like power, authority, influence, you know, and protection as well, like a mama bear, like a nurturing, protective mama bear. I feel like you're here to help protect the souls who are struggling and to teach them and to almost be like an authority or like a guiding light for them. This is really, really cool. There's also a message for you guys. So, you know how this card was trying to like confirm to you who your soulmate might be? I feel like some of you are even in denial about who it is, especially if you are avoiding your awakening or avoiding your healing, because it's like you can feel instinctively that if I further pursue the connection with this person, it's going to be a long, uncomfortable journey of healing and awakening. And so you may be saying to yourself like, no, that's not them, or I'm like, I don't want to go down that path, kind of in denial about it. But when I look at this penguin who has the key to the other penguin's heart, like it's one key that's gonna fit in that keyhole. Now, I'm gonna be careful with my wording here because I am a strong believer. Whoa, maybe that's my guides calling me out. I'm gonna be careful with my wording because I am a strong believer in like you can be happy with many people. It's not that you're gonna be unhappy with anybody else who's not your soulmate, but with this key in the lock here, I do think you'll always feel that there's something special about this person. Like they will just affect you in a way that others don't. And your higher selves may have decided to make it a little bit hard to run away from each other. Because like running away from them is like running away from this on some level. Or you're just like, you're pretty adamant about doing this together. I'm just being careful because it's like, it's not that you can't be happy with anyone else. It's not that you can't do this with anyone else, but I think your soulmates, your higher selves set it up so that you will keep being drawn back to each other again and again to learn these lessons together. I feel like that's their ideal outcome, or that's their most preferred outcome, I should say. All right, so let's shuffle this tarot deck now. And we are going to use this deck to see what the final outcome is of your soulmate, or not final outcome, the future outcome, what you can expect next in your soulmate journey in this lifetime. I don't know, maybe final outcome slipped out because the grand finale's coming soon. I don't know. We have the Queen of Swords. We have the 10 of Diamonds, or the 10 of Pentacles. Oh, okay. Ooh. Okay. And then we have the 3 of Cups. Interesting. So I'm going to read these in order. The first thing I want to say, you know, oh, and then we have 7 of Diamonds at the bottom of the deck. It's interesting because that card is like, be patient, trust in divine timing, your seeds are planted well, there's no need to worry. I'm just gonna leave that. I feel like many of you might already know who this is or already be involved with this person. That's just the vibe I'm getting. So starting with the Queen of Swords here, and I think it's interesting that the Queen of Swords looks like pretty youthful in this deck, and the Queen of Swords does talk about like a cutting off. She can talk about it like a single or divorced or separated person. Maybe you guys are in separation with this person right now, whether that's like a physical long distance separation or a no contact one, or there will be a point in your journey where you are in separation. It kind of seems like the journey where you meet, you activate each other, you awaken each other, you trigger each other, you need some time apart to do your respective healing, and you come back together when you're more mature. And I think it's really interesting that we go from this like youthful depiction to a more like older and mature depiction. I feel like there will be a point in your relationship with this person where you do each need time apart to grow and mature and gain a little bit more wisdom, and then you'll come back together. The thing that made me go like, ooh, was that there were two dogs here. I saw the two dogs, I saw the two penguins. Dogs are like a symbol, or I don't know, symbol? Symbolism of dogs is like loyalty, friendship, companionship. Penguins mate for life. So there is this feeling of like, we'll stick together no matter what. And also something that came to me is that you guys might have like spirit guides who are soulmates. Like your spirit guide and your soulmate's spirit guide are soulmates. And they're like both your spirit guides, if that makes sense. That was the way the message came to me. They will be overseeing your journey. They will be making sure that everything is okay. And it might not even be, for some of you, it may be like there's conflict between the two of you, but for many, it could also just be that this is very draining. Like there's just a lot to work through in your life. There's a lot of important decisions to be made. There's a lot on your plate when it comes to like, what do I need to release? What do I need to heal? That's a very time consuming and mentally consuming journey. So it might just be like I don't have it in me to invest in a romantic relationship right now. I really care for you. I love you, but I know that I'm not going to be available for you in the way that I want to. And when I first saw this card, I did get the feeling that this might be a mutual decision. Like we're going to take some time apart, or we're not ready yet, or we just need to figure out our stuff first. If you are apart from this person right now, I do feel like it's part of your soul's plan, because we have the Seven of Diamonds here, which talks about, yes, there's a pause in action, but you planted your seeds well. And this pause that you're experiencing is just the time that it takes for your seeds to grow. We do have the Ten of Diamonds here, or the Ten of Pentacles, which is also about a solid foundation being established. So whether you're in the separation right now, or it's coming up, like if you haven't met this person yet or something, I want you to know that you have a solid enough foundation, and you have such a beautiful loyalty to each other and such loving spirit guides that everything is going to be okay. Like whatever, like this letter says, like whatever life throws at you, your love is unconditional, and you're strong enough to make it through anything. And I want to bring up this excerpt again. Like nothing's perfect. This journey is not going to feel like perfect and sunshine and rainbows all the time, but it will be worth it. And after fighting through your dark night, after making it through your separation, finally you will be able to put each other first. It feels so weird to be like interpreting a message with Beyonce's words. What an honor. I don't deserve to, but wow. So I love that the final card is the Three of Cups, because this talks about a celebration, and it also talks about a much more light-hearted energy. Ten of Pentacles as well. It's like long-term stability, long-term security, a happy home life, a happy family life, a happy relationship. And it's so interesting that there's all these messages coming out about you guys like setting up the next generations for happiness. This could very well be talking about your own descendants, like your own children. You might be breaking the cycle of trauma and dysfunctionality, if that's the right word, in your lineage, and passing on, you know, a healthier way of being, healthier mental and emotional health to your children and your grandchildren, because this is a card about like your legacy as well. That's really cool. With the Three of Cups here, I feel like you guys, yes, you are soulmates, but you are part of a greater family that is here on earth. And I don't think it's three people. I think it's more than three people, but just on this card, we usually see like three people coming together and cheersing. But this is a card about friendship as well. So I feel like you two here are part of a greater like soul friend group, if that makes sense, like a group of light workers, a group of like-minded people. And you'll get to come together and be lighthearted and happy. Like you're really putting this shitty, heavy energy behind you. And I love that. And I was also going to say with this card, when this card comes up to describe a romantic relationship, I feel like friendship is the most important aspect of the connection. And I think that makes for a really healthy relationship. Like, yeah, it's your solid foundation. It's your solid friendship. It's your solid loyalty. Like, your relationship is not fueled by like lust or infatuation or romance. It's fueled by your friendship, for sure. That's really, really lovely. And this is a message for maybe like just a small few of you watching. Some of you might like end up as friends or choose to be friends in the end. I know like soulmate is usually a romantic thing, but you might just be like very, very close friends. Maybe. I feel like that's a really, really, really for a small few of you. But anyway, your friendship is super important. And you will come to a future where you're able to just like, honestly, like toast to each other and everything that you've been through. And I'm remembering the second verse of Love on Top has like a line about a night of champagne, which you don't have to drink, but it's like very celebratory. So now we are going to shuffle this oracle deck and get some additional messages directly from your soulmate. So hard not to break into song right now. All right, so let's get one more. So the first one is, mind your business, let others do what they want. You can't change anyone. Keep your distance from those who drain you. And we had that message about you guys being so drained. We had the Queen of Swords, which is about cutting away, especially relationships that don't serve you. Learning how to say no, learning how to stand up for yourself. I feel like this is your soulmate encouraging you to cut some ties with some people in your life or with certain commitments that you have. Especially if there are people who drain you. This is saying like, it's not your job to change people. If somebody is not respecting you, if somebody's not honoring you, or someone's just not vibing with you, you don't have to like pour in even more effort or try to change this person. You can't. You just have to mind you and take care of you, and you have to know when it's time to walk away. Often the Queen of Swords, for me, like she represents us, yes, stepping into our power, learning how to be assertive and say no. But I often find she's kind of an uncomfortable transition because at first we really feel like we're being a jerk, you know? When we're first learning how to say no and put our foot down, you could feel like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm being so harsh. I feel like I'm being mean. But it's just because like, it's such a stark contrast from what you've been doing before. And what you feel like is mean is actually just you being firm and you being straight up. So I feel like your soulmate's higher self or even their 3D self is going to help you establish healthier boundaries and say no when you need to say no. And this is also a very important thing to remember if you guys do feel called to pursue your spiritual path more, you know, be a teacher, be a healer. There's inevitably going to be people that you are sharing this planet with who are not as awakened as you, like not on the same vibration as you, however you want to call it. And you have to kind of pick your battles, I guess. Like you can't heal someone who doesn't want to be healed. You can't awaken someone who doesn't want to be awakened. I think you guys get what I mean. Make sure that you're not wasting your energy and know that it's not like the burden or the responsibility is all on you to awaken planet Earth, and everybody's going to awaken in their own time. So just make sure you're not putting too much of that pressure on yourself that like you have to make people see the light, you have to like educate everybody. If they want to educate themselves, they will, you know? Anyway, the next card says, dream it to life. See and feel what will soon be real. Take time to visualize the experience you want to have before any situation. Some manifestation advice. Pay attention to actual like sleeping dreams as well. They might give you some insights about this connection. Balance, slow down, lighten your load so you can float. I really feel, and we got 33 on the camera timer. I really feel like you guys will need to do some kind of decluttering, detoxing, really simplifying your life while you work through your stuff. You might have to take quite a few stuff out of your schedule so that you can go through this awakening. And I know like that might be hard, you know, because if you are going through like a physical issue, for example, like a sickness, then it's something that you can explain to people, you know, like, hey, I'm ill, I can't see you, or I can't come into work, or I can't go to this commitment that I have, or whatever it is. And it's like socially understandable, if that makes sense. But I guess it's a little bit hard, depending on your friend group or your circle. It might be a little bit hard to be like, hey, I'm going through a really intense spiritual awakening right now and I don't have a lot of energy. And so I feel like I need some time to myself. Not everybody's going to be so understanding of that. So this might be easier said than done. But you know what? Part of being the Queen of Swords sometimes is that you don't owe people an explanation, or you don't need to justify yourself. I remember one of my friends posted something on Instagram, and it was like, you don't have to have something in your schedule to be unavailable. Like, you can just not want to go. There doesn't have to be some reason that you can't. You can just not want to. You can just want alone time. So yeah, I think, sorry, this is like the second time that I'm spacing out while filming this video, and I usually attribute that to either there's a lot of spirit guides coming through, or your guide is just coming through really, really strongly to the point where I like short circuit and get kind of overwhelmed. That's probably your soulmate just sending you a lot of love. But now let's go ahead and we don't shuffle dice, we roll them. Roll your astro dice to see if there's any important time frames that you should know about. So we have Jupiter, we have Sagittarius, and it said 3 and then I rolled it over to 4. So let's take both. This could be saying something like 3 to 4 weeks, 3 to 4 months, especially if, and actually at the time this video is uploaded, 3 to 4 weeks from now will be Sagittarius season. So if you're watching at the time that this is uploaded, this might all fit really, really perfectly for you, because Jupiter is the planet that is associated with Sagittarius. So Sagittarius, end of year, that might be an important time for you guys in this connection. And let me see. This can also be talking about Jupiter returns. We spoke about this in another pile. So if you guys are approaching, it happens every 12 years. So the age of 12, 24, 36, 48, 60, and so on. That's when the Jupiter return happens. So if you are approaching this age, like in the next couple years, that could be an important year for you guys when it comes to this connection. Yes, but these are all the messages that I have for you guys, so I'm going to end the reading here. Thank you very, very much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. I also have a Patreon, so if you guys are interested in seeing even more exclusive pick-a-cards where you get to choose the topic, that will be linked down below too. I'm sending you guys lots of love, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye!